And now you're on.
Okay. Well, thank you to everyone. I know I am excited to be here for the launch of Jim's book, Pathways to Nonviolent Communication. So I'm excited to be here. I feel hopeful and invigorated to see all your faces. I'm hoping to contribute to needs for choice and discovery and connection and learning today. And I'm going to go through some of the things you may have heard, but this is important for our recording and for all of you here that maybe are just joining too. So just so you know, each of the presentations during this event relate to one of the skills on the matrix, or the Pathways to Liberation matrix. And this tool was developed about a decade ago by Jory Mansky, Jake Gottwalls, Jack Lehman, and Jim Mansky. And the purpose of the matrix is really to support us with the self-assessment in the skills and consciousness of nonviolent communication. So I'm going to be getting into my experience of presence and bringing an offering to you about that, which is the first one on the matrix, if you go in order. And so stay just for a moment. I'm going to speak just a little bit more here to give you some info. Want to bring in about the Center for Nonviolent Communication, which you would have just heard from Jim if you have been here, but maybe you're just coming in. It was started by Marshall Rosenberg and his colleagues quite a while ago, about 35 years ago. And it was to help make nonviolent communication available for everyone. And since then, CNVC has developed a real network of certified trainers across the world, offering NVC training. And as Jim mentioned before, with the pandemic and just where it has evolved, CNVC has lost a number of places of important sustainability. And so they have been doing in-person intentional or international intensive trainings. And those are on hold with the pandemic, and doing lots of things, being creative, have gotten the virtual intensive out there, but still really need to support the mission. So there's two ways you can support and have that really be a choice for you. You can buy copies of the book, because the proceeds go to CNVC, all the book sales, and Puddle Dancer Press is also donating its proceeds. And they're about $10 a piece in American dollars. So might be helpful to support some kind of group or family or friends. Maybe you have a learning community. Maybe you want to donate them to the library. And so I think Jim will put some links in there, or I can certainly do that too. But there's some links going in there. You can even consider being a monthly donor or sponsor for CNVC, maybe picking a regular amount that could come out in the future. So there's a link for that too. And we just really appreciate this continuing support for the mission of nonviolence. So I would love to explore the matrix a little bit more and go into presence. And I have a little, I'll try to monitor the chat and also get some help from my support folks here too. Okay, we will be going into the explanation a little bit of the matrix, maybe in bits and pieces. Hopefully that will support you in a moment. If that feels good to wait for a second. Let's see. I thought I would start with just a little bit of an intro to me, and there's so many screens of faces. I wish I could take in all your faces, but if you need anything, you can put up your virtual hand or your literal hand. Also put in the chat. Jim is supporting this session, I believe, as tech support and other support. So there's that possibility. And I would love to just tell you my experiences, a little bit of the matrix, and then we'll go into some practices, and I will put in eventually a little, I'm going to put an agenda right now just to give you a little map for those people who love maps and like to know where we're going. That's just a little bit of an idea of where we're going. So let's see. I guess what I want to tell you is I came to nonviolent communication as a parent, and it greatly moved me. I had 3 children at the time. I still have 3 children, and they're adults now. They were little. I've been a trainer since about 2011, been exploring this since about 2007, and I'm currently an assessor in training to support certification. So I've been a part of an assessing community called the Trainer Candidate Community Path, lots of words there, TCCP for short. And that's an assessing community. And we have been using this matrix all that time, coming back to it again and again. And at first I got it, I looked at all those pages and I went, oh my goodness, and I felt overwhelmed. And I thought, oh, I don't know if anybody, you can do this for resonance, or yeah, I got some hearts. It's like, oh, whoa, yeah. It was exciting and overwhelming at the same time. And I kept interacting with it. And we were there and I was on my certification path. And what I realized was I began playing this game of what's wrong with me. Does anybody know that game? The what's wrong game? I started looking at the matrix with this lens of the domination culture of right and wrong, and left was bad and right was good, because it was this thing that moved from unconscious incompetence to unconscious competence. And I thought, who am I? How will I ever get there to this natural place? And what I loved is also, I love maps. And so it gave me a map. It's like, I can, one step at a time, I can go each little piece. But I think what I began to feel was that the matrix was complex. And I loved being able to see it. And I loved being able to know that I would move and flow. And so that's sort of some of my somatic experiences. But I think what I wanted more than anything was to get out of my head about it and to feel the matrix, have a felt sense of these skills and consciousness. So just this last piece I'll mention is that from there, I created a curriculum called Heartfelt, which stands for Foundational Experiential Learning Track, but Heartfelt for short, that's using this matrix because I wanted to explore it in community. So we did a 2-hour offering for each piece of the matrix every week in a community for like 9 months. And we did these two years in a row. We did a pilot program. And the matrix began to be alive as we all shared our experiences of it. And so that curriculum is being edited right now and will be available, and I'll leave some information about that. But what I love is that it's this great companion, I think, to this book. And when this book came out, I was so excited because it can reach more people. So I will put the link in right now. And I'm going to pause for a moment because I don't enjoy just hearing my voice. And very soon I'm going to invite some other voices here. But I just want to see some of your faces once I finish copying this in. So I really loved, a moment ago, I saw some screens of that maybe a little bit of that overwhelm or some resonance there. So I'm just going to look. See the people that are there. All right, I see some people that I'm new to and some people I know. It's just nice to get some connection when we're online, isn't it? Just to look into each other's eyes. Ah, thank you for the waves. Okay. Wonderful. Okay. So what I'd like to do, let's see, I would love to offer a little remembering. And as we're listening to this, we can practice some presence. And that's so the invitation is to listen, if you would like, to my voice, or listen to what's calling you. and notice what happens in your body as I read or as you sit. And I'll also put this in the chat when we're done. Okay. So this is called The Cure for It All by Julie Fehrenbacher. Praise fresh air, clean water, good dogs. Spin something from joy. Open a window, even if it's cold outside. Sit. Close your eyes. Breathe. Allow the river of it all to pulse through eyelashes, fingertips, bare toes. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe until you feel your bigness, until the sun rises in your veins. Breathe until you stop needing anything to be different. And I'm going to leave just a little bit of silence. And if you're so moved, an invitation is to put something in the chat or put up an emoji or use what you'd like to communicate how you are in hearing that. Sometimes I read that and I feel inspired, and sometimes I read that and I think, oh, well, that sounds so easy. There's that voice of me that says, wow, well, that's hard sometimes. So what I want to offer next is going a look at the matrix just real briefly before we go into the practice. And what I'd love to do is have somebody else's voice. And in reading the matrix, I hope that I will also explain a little bit of the matrix, or it will become apparent so that those who didn't get to hear a little bit about it can get a fuller sense. And also know that that's in the book, and I found that really supportive. So what I'd like to do, oh, I love reading the little responses, thank you, is I'm going to put in what the aspiration for presence on the matrix, and ask if there's someone who would like to read that, because I would love to hear some other voices. Is there anyone who would be willing to read that? I just put it in the chat. I won't be able to see everyone's hand, so you can also unmute. Is there anyone who would like to read that? And let me know if you, oh, wonderful, thank you.
Pathways, presence is being attentive to what is happening right now, not lost in thinking, emotional reactions, etc.
Oh, thank you, Rena. So sweet to see you. my co-lover of the matrix. All right. So we'll see if the next piece. So I love, this is like the aspiration. Let that sink in. Notice your body. What happens when you read that or integrate it? And then I've put the next pieces of the matrix in there. Could I ask for some more voices? Maybe someone who doesn't often read things, or maybe wants to and hasn't? Yeah, that'd be wonderful. I'd love, maybe you can read the first one and then we'll have somebody read the next piece. You could read the unskilled. Let's see, I can't see everyone.
I can see Karen's hand went up.
Karen, thank you. Thanks for the help. That'd be great. Oh, except you're on mute.
Okay. Is that better?
Wonderful.
Okay. Unskilled, no knowledge of the skill, unconsciously incompetent, lost in the past or the future, identified with thinking and doing.
Yeah. And actually, would you be willing to read the awakening, and then I'll get another person for the next two?
Certainly. Awakening, becoming aware of the skill, consciously incompetent, becoming aware of the difference between being alert to what is actually happening and being lost in thought.
I think we can all relate to that. All right. And there was other hands. Did you see other hands there? It's two people.
Yes, Ahmad is got his hand up.
Yes,
Wonderful.
yes. Capable, able to use skill with effort, consciously competent, able to witness thoughts and feelings and respond rather than react, able to bring oneself back to alertness when aware of having been lost in thoughts.
Thank you. Would you be willing to read the integrated one too, Ahmad?
Okay. The last one is the integrated, where naturally uses the skill with ease and flow and consciously competent. Relaxed alertness to what is happening in each moment with a deep sense of purpose and choice. Openness to what is with resourcefulness. Yes.
Thank you. So many pieces here to take in.
Many.
And what I love about this is being able to see where I am, see what's going on. And it's that part, like with meditation, where it's the coming back that's actually is the gift, is the noticing where I am. And so before we go into a practice of presence I'd like to offer, I want to add a piece, and this is a piece that is not a part of the original matrix. I want to make that clear. That we can have obstacles to any of these pieces of the skills or the aspects that we're exploring here. This movement from domination culture and the impact of that to this nonviolence and interdependence, power with culture, compassionate culture, and being. And so this is something a number of people have contributed to, looking at obstacles when we're in positions of rank or status or power, where power being defined as ability to access resources to meet needs. So we can have some challenges there. We might have challenges to accessing presence, especially when we're in places of less access to power or rank or status. We may have experiences of places where our nervous systems are so on high alert that even the mere mention of presence is challenging. So just bringing a ton of compassion about that. And I'll put something in the chat to look at it. It's not that to distract you, but just not an exhaustive list or anything. It's just an example. And you might, while I'm doing that, just ponder for yourself, or maybe notice if there are particular places where you have obstacles to accessing presence, and something that you can explore in your self-empathy practice or in an empathy practice. And the antidotes, we might be able to unearth some of those or bring those forth to these obstacles. So what I would love to do now is to go into a practice for about 10 minutes, a guided meditation. And I'll leave some silence as we go. And and then we'll be able to harvest a little bit from that. Right. So, and you can have the invitation to explore presence and the challenges to that as we go. And this particular practice, it's out of wanting to realize that as we approach the matrix in any form, I call this practice a remembering of a compassionate presence, or reawakening of a compassionate witness. And it's a remix of a number of things. But it's something we need to even access almost as a gateway to the rest of the matrix, in my experience. All right. So if you want to settle in however you would like, and becoming aware of maybe your feet on the ground or your back against what you're sitting against. This is offered as an invitation to go inside for a little bit. And you might see what needs you be meeting by following my voice. See and notice if you're at a sense of choice, and what needs you might meet by following my voice. So you can close your eyes or have a soft gaze at something in your room or out a window. And the invitation is to arrive. Notice your body or your breath. And what is present in this moment. And I'll offer some invitations that you can explore. The first one is to imagine you're in a place that you enjoy in your mind's eye. And the invitation is to imagine you're holding something precious and to see what comes. Maybe it's a beautiful flower or a little baby animal, a precious stone, a picture. And the invitation is to gaze at this with a sense of awe and wonder. Like really feeling the preciousness of this entity, this being, this miracle of life. And at any time, you can notice what's happening in your body. Bring in a sense of curiosity. Being present to what's arising. And with much gentleness, the next invitation is to imagine you are the precious being that is being gazed upon. That there is a compassionate presence that is holding you, looking at you with a sense of awe and wonder. The preciousness of life that is in you. And to notice what happens. What are you feeling? You can also imagine, if you'd like, that you're being held by a a presence of nurturance. Maybe it's being gently held by Mother Earth, securely on your hips, that's grounding you. And if you'd like, you can notice what visions come, notice what appears. What is this compassionate presence? Maybe it's Mother Earth. Maybe you see a person or an animal, a divine being, maybe is there in your circle, maybe a guide. It might be your higher self, a wise one, an ancestor. What form is this compassionate presence in the moment? Maybe it's hard to even name. Maybe it's a pool of light or a star or nature. And I'll leave some silence just to connect with that. And with the sense of not having to be anything in particular, just allow room to notice the felt sense of that compassionate presence. If you notice it in any particular place within you. And as we close this, you can even experiment with how you want to leave this visualization, this meditation. Do you want to experiment with touch on your heart or your cheek or around your shoulders or holding your hand, and how that would feel? And then again, with an invitation of gentleness and your own pacing and timing, you can take a moment to integrate, to transition to your returning your gaze or opening your eyes in the timing that you would like, to close that meditation in the way you would like. And looking around and knowing that we have gone on this experience together. And my invitation is, as we close, to either ponder or write down or draw anything that you would like to note about this experience. And in a moment, I'll ask you if you're willing to share anything. If there's anything that you want to name at this time, and if you don't feel like doing that, then you're at choice about that too. And thank you for putting things in the chat. That's what I would invite also. Is there anyone that would like to speak into this space? Anything about this practice of a compassionate presence that you would like to share out loud? You can go ahead and unmute or raise your hand. I know it's hard to speak sometimes into a large group. Thanks for the pieces that I'm reading. Hopeful and feel relaxed. Is there anyone who would like to speak theirs out loud? Just want to check. And tell me if you see anyone.
Juliana has raised her hand, and I just really love this one thing that I enjoyed everything in the chat, but this one from Holly. I felt a wonderful aching contentment in my heart.
Mm.
And Juliana, when you're ready, unmute yourself. I think you are unmuted. Go ahead.
It was so beautiful. Thank you so much for this meditation, Marcia. And I just felt this compassionate presence, all around me, within me, and like you said, it was like a divine presence. It was like nature in nature. It was like in my higher self. It was like in my ancestors. It was like in the people around me. Some of the people around me, especially, and at the end of this, I felt just so cool and relaxed in my mind. I felt, being held and embraced, but in every cell of my body, but with this compassionate presence inside and around. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah. And I see two other people. Let's see if I can get your names. Sangeeta?
Sangeeta is next, and then Anza.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you, Marcia. It was beautiful. I come from an Indian community, and we hold certain gurus or masters very, very close to our heart. They are the people, they're the epitome of compassion that I would like to look up to. And I would someday want to achieve that. You helped me to see that master of mine holding out his hand in compassion and reminding me of where I want to go. When he was holding out his hand and telling me and reminding me of that compassion. Thank you so much. It was such a divine feeling.
Thank you for sharing that. I feel like I went on the journey with you and could feel the hand being reached out there. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Monza, would you like to share next?
Hi.
Hi.
It was a very touching experience for me. I imagined my newborn child as a precious, and then I imagined myself as a newborn in my mother's hand. It was very touching. I experienced safety. I was relaxed and safe. Thank you for that. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. Yeah. I often have come to my children in my visualization, and I want to name that there are many practices for presence, and this might be one that you could explore. And also that sometimes when we practice this, people have a lot of mourning that come up, and that sense of, I don't know, or things get activated about being held. And so whatever your experience is, I really want to invite what that might be. And that this is one piece I imagine is something we need as we do all this integration and the impact of the domination systems on us. I just love that this was named in the matrix right in the beginning like that. And a piece of Marshall's work, he really talked about that sense of intention, and then it's really evolved about this presence. And let's see, are there other raised hands that I'm missing? I'm a little slower here looking at the chat. Yeah. And so the invitation really is to take this and make it your own. And maybe you have a number of practices that you do, but it's that sense of, how can I integrate this in a way that is connected with things I already do in my day, in any moment. And you might have ways that you already do that, whether it be every time you eat, or every time I go into a certain room, or I go outside with the dog, or and I enjoy the piece of touch. It helps me have an anchor to when I'm somewhere and really wanting to access that, I can touch my hand. Or even if I'm doing something people won't even notice, maybe I'll be talking like this, and I'll remind myself. Those are just some of the strategies. And I would love to add on to this practice, and I'm pacing the time here, and there's a little more piece I would like to do. I really appreciate, thank you so much for naming the anger that can be there. Jennifer, I really, I love that there's so much that can come from this. Yeah, thank you. I would like to do breakout rooms, and I'm not sure with the number of people how that will go. And it'll only be a short time. But do you think, Jim, that's something we might be able to
Oh
do?
yes, I've got them all ready for you. I've got groups of 3.
Okay, and I think what I'm
And-
going to do is spend about a minute or 2 more in continuing a little bit of the meditation, and then we'll go and we'll have a chance to share about it in breakouts. Okay, and I think we'll be able to work with the time. So again, this is an invitation. You can be a choice and check in with yourself. Be present with you and what your capacity is, what your needs you're meeting. And I see a raised hand, so I want to make sure, Juliana, is that or is that left over from before?
I just need clarification. Now, when I get the meaning of presence over here, it is like being attentive to what is happening right here, right now. And for me also, presence is actually more innately, presence is what I carry, like what you say, within me, just that alive present consciousness within me. So how are these two related? I just want to ask you, please.
How they're related, is that what you're asking?
How are these 2 ideas of, presence is just, who I am, what I'm carrying within me, this aliveness, this consciousness, and what we did in the meditation. And presence, according to what we read in the Matrix, is being alive and present to a person or to whatever's happening right here, right now. So how do you connect these 2 ideas of presence?
I love that question. What comes to me, I don't know if this will land for you, is that with a compassionate presence, wherever that comes from for you, it's not that presence is there to make whatever I'm experiencing go away, right? That's what I think is challenging, is how do I bring in that presence to be with, to increase my capacity and my window of tolerance, to be with and to see what is arising and what is alive, so that I can be attentive and act from choice to access that. That's, to me, the bridge. Does that maybe a little piece there?
Thank you.
And I might move
That might
in any moment or my lifetime on this matrix in regards to presence, right? Or any situation. This practice to me is something that we almost need that base. If we don't have that already, cultivating that to move along the continuum in whatever base that might be for you. But, all right.
so
Hopefully that
it
helps.
really connects so beautifully. Like that presence within empowers me to be present without, in every moment of life, to be present in as well as out. Yeah. Thank you so much.
And then I have room to be present with all of life that's coming,
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for
empowering. Actually, is power. It's the power, really, I guess, that makes it possible. The capacity, as you said.
Yes, increasing my capacity, right? While being mindful of my well-being, not going beyond my capacity. So let's see. So maybe just about 30 seconds of another piece. And you can choose in your breakout rooms to talk more about this and more about presence. What I want to offer is, yeah, maybe we'll just do a very, very brief touch in of it, maybe 30 seconds or a minute, is that you can also use this practice as a way to increasing your capacity to be with. Is that if you want to imagine you're in a place that feels nurturing, or at least feels present or supportive, what you can do is mindfully bring in something that you have some constriction with. It might be something, you get to pick the level of what you would like, but you might even pick the smallest of somebody maybe just crossing their arms. And you might invite the visualization of that. And notice what happens in your body. And at any moment, you can notice what's happening. You can bring in your compassionate presence. You can send the person away. I'm picking like the smallest of pieces of something that might be activating.
I don't know what to do.
And you can either do this now, or you can save this as a bookmark for something you want to do at another time. Is again, can I be present with what's happening in my body when I notice someone who might be, say, frustrated or has a look that isn't as welcoming as I enjoy? And I'm going to leave some silence just to notice if there's anything in your body with any of the things I've said. And the invitation is to play with that sense of presence. And then if you'd like, send the visualization away. Take a moment to notice your body and what it's asking for. And return your gaze or open your eyes, or maybe you kept your eyes open. That was very brief. I didn't give you a whole lot of warning that that was coming, but because I'm wanting to leave you time to be in the breakout groups. And so I'm hoping, like, how about till about 10 to, and I'll start to close then. So that would be, what is that?
That's
7 minutes.
Yeah, so it'll say in the timer in the upper right hand corner, it'll say 6 minutes, but then there'll be 1 extra minute to just finish up. And people have been coming and going. I've been moving people around, but you still might take a minute to get to a group. So here we go. Oh boy, lots of people not in groups.
Yeah, it's a lot to manage. And I'll stay here in case there's people who are not somewhere.
Jim, I'll start on the bottom and move people into groups, okay, too.
Thank you.
Okay.
You can ignore the ones that are no breakout room.
And anyone who's here, if there's anything you want to share while we're waiting for that to happen. Thanks. It's a little stressful when there's lots of people. Holding everyone.
So I think you just moved, Marcia.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Okay.
That was a shock, huh?
And for those not in a room, you can certainly integrate on your own, maybe how that was for you, noticing or writing things down, And somebody says no breakout, I see in theirs. Okay, so some people, oh, I meant to invite that too. So thank you for putting that in.
Lucy, I'm just taking some time out from this exercise, so don't put me in a breakout room again for this exercise.
Great.
Well, let's see,
We're
that
done.
that was
the-
Jennifer. Yeah. Sorry for not asking that a little bit more clearly. Yeah, would have liked to have done that.
Yeah, I think we got everyone there.
Okay. No breakout, no breakout. And Jennifer's no breakout. Yep. No breakout. Okay. Yep. Phew. And Eric is here. Maybe Eric wants to be. Okay. Hi. I know you're some tech support, so maybe not now, but yeah. Okay. Phew. Thank you for that. Okay.
Oops, Marcia, did you want to be there?
Move to.
I keep being sent to one, but I just come back.
Oh,
Good.
thank you. My bad.
No worries, this is multitask, but
No
thanks
problem.
thanks for being willing to try.
Yeah, it was hard for me to track who didn't.
Yeah,
want it.
it is
Yeah,
hard.
But yeah, I'm
We're
gonna,
stretching.
I see no breakout there. It's just so far on the side.
I think we're good. I think we're okay.
Okay, good. Okay, Kate,
And anybody can unmute if you need
Yeah, if
Karen.
you want to just hang out here, you're welcome to. We will be here for about 3 more minutes. So
Oh, we're almost done.
Yeah, it goes by fast sometimes.
really fast.
Mhm.
And do you want to do the little, I needed to tell you this, Marcia, the link that you put in for your program did
Yes.
not come through right.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Yeah, and you need permission to go to it. So
Yeah, let's see, I have to undo that. Yeah. Share. Yeah. Yeah, that might be a little challenging. Well, we'll fix that before maybe. I don't know if I can multitask at the same time. Yeah, I need to get that share changed. That should have been left open, but it's not.
4 of us, oh,
All right.
there, yes, she's come
Well, at
back.
least my, did I put my,
Hi, that's okay if I'm not in a room, Jory.
Okay.
Because being a single parent, I'm coming in and out. I wanted to be in time for the next session.
Uh-huh. Okay,
So it's okay if you don't put me in a breakout room. I'm here just to listen.
fair enough.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
Should
you.
should I write no breakout after your name for you?
No, not
Okay.
right now, because I think for the next session, yeah,
You
thank
might.
you.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
all right.
Actually, Jory, that's a good idea. The next 1 hour, I will be traveling in the car. You could put no breakout.
Yeah, that'll save you the
Thank you.
trouble of having to
Yes.
deal with it.
Thank you so much.
Nice. Okay. All right, we have about 5 minutes here left in the session, so more people coming back here.
People will be coming back in 1 minute now.
It said time is up in 6 minutes.
No, it's coming back now.
Oh, it says breakout in 5. Yeah, okay.
Okay. Oh, maybe it's
5 seconds. Yeah. And people can start joining when they want to. So. Okay, we're going to be coming back in. I I realize that might have been shorter than you enjoyed or longer than you enjoyed, and there could be more that we could explore about this. So this was just a little taste about presence on the matrix. All right.
Chance to practice being present. About 20 more seconds and everyone will be back.
Okay.
I do have one question. What is the matrix that you do keep talking about?
And
I've heard the word and I didn't know what that was.
yes. Do you have a one sentence explanation, Jim, that you love to pull out of your
I'll do it at the very end. I'll do it at the very end in a little break between the two classes. How does that sound?
That sounds sweet. So we were exploring presence and moving to the aspiration of being able to respond to what is coming alive. So we're all coming back. I see we're all back. Yes. So this was just a little bit of taste of playing with the presence aspect, that important skill and the piece of the consciousness of nonviolent communication. And I would love, just in the last about 4 minutes, to hear anything that you're taking with you today, or anything from your breakout room that you could express your experience of some of the practice that we did today, or this part of the matrix. And you can put in the chat. You can also raise your hand and speak out loud. I'd love to hear some voices along with what's in the chat. How was that practice for you? What are you taking with you? And I see a raised hand, Ahmad. Oh, thanks for the chat.
Yes, I was with Holly, and I loved the presence with myself. I was thinking that presence with others, but I loved the presence with myself. And we made this gesture to hold ourselves all the time. And this empowered us. Yes, and we felt that we still integrated whatever's happening. We have the power for ourselves. We are present for selves. And it was a treasure moment, a moment of treasure. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ahmad. Yeah, that bodily sense. Yeah, being present for yourself. Yeah, and that touching into that space. Oh, thank you.
Thanks, Holly.
Thank you. And thanks for the things that
William has his hand up.
Okay, great. Thanks for the things in the chat too. Joe.
Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah.
Hi, Jim and Jory.
Hi.
Nice to see you again. And I was with just one other person, Carrie from Sacramento. And you see, we in Sri Lanka are just coming out of 40 days of lockdown. So where you spent a lot of time to get on yourself, on your own, in my case, for instance. So this kind of, I wish I had sort of experienced this 40 days ago. I would have used it much more effectively in sort of understanding myself, and also to be in touch with myself. Thank you for the presentation.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. Oh, yes. Whew. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to be present with ourselves for that long. We need that connection. Yeah, the power of connection and doing presence together. I felt powerful with that today. Thank you so much for showing up and exploring. I see 2 more hands. I hope we can get to that. I think we can. Do you mind, Juliana, if we go to Marguerite or I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right first, just because you haven't spoken yet. Does that? Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. No, someone in our group said something just at the end about discovery of who I am and presence. And I thought for myself, presence is coming back to who I really am. That open, loving, non-judgmental person I was when I was born, before all the conditioning. It's remembering the divine within me, the spark of humanity. and be in that open, loving presence.
Sweet. Thank you for, I see a heart, some resonance there. I see shaking heads. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I think we probably just have time for probably one more person, I think, because I want to make sure I get in some of the information that's I'd really like to pass on and have in the recording. So yeah, one more person. Let's see. I just see Juliana now.
I think she's finished.
Oh, okay. Anyone else that I missed? A lot to track. All right. Thank you so much for this amount of time to go and explore this such meaningful aspect of the matrix presence. So I just want to say, wow, whew, that was fun. And I have needs met for connection and community, companionship. And Catherine Cadden will be speaking next, who I really enjoy, on reconnecting to self and recovering from reactiveness. And so let's see, I'm going to go through some of the things just to make sure we have that info. So everyone who's registered for the call will get access to all these 28 sessions. And if you've arrived here or you know someone who hasn't registered, there's no problem. There's a link for registering. I think that's already in the chat. And there's no cost for registering. If you are leaving now, please consider helping to support CNBC to continue their mission to make nonviolent communication accessible through our website and the network of trainers. And you can joyfully buy as many copies of the book as you can and really give them as gifts. This is a fundraiser, and I think it's really sweet to pass this aspect of the matrix on so that other people can access this too, and we can co-explore together. And there's some links for that. Let's see, the book has a lot of strategies to support deepening the understanding and integration of NVC. You can also make a monthly donation to CNVC. You can be a regular donor. Any amount is so appreciated and supports this work. And for feedback for this event, if you'd like to give me feedback, that'll be posted also in the chat. And thank you so much for your support and just your presence here. It's been sweet.
Yes. Thank you, Marcia, for being a part of my celebration. I'm really glad you're here, and I'm really glad I got a chance to be present with you. It's really rich to hear somebody else talk about presence and to get the feedback from folks about what others got from this. So thank you for being here and volunteering your time to support.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. And I guess the link I sent before wasn't quite right, but hopefully that will get fixed. And then my email is also in the chat. So if you have a question about the curriculum, let me know.
Yeah. So in just a minute or so, Catherine will be here. So you have time to take a quick stretch break. And then we'll move into the next session as close to the top of the hour as possible. And Catherine has arrived.
But I still want everyone to stretch and pee.
Yeah. Thanks, Catherine.
How's my volume, Jim? Is this okay?
Yeah, you sound great. I'm going to make you a co-host in case you want to share your screen.
Oh, yeah, that would be awesome.
Okay, so, and Jory, you're getting to be in the dark there. So if you're going to stick around for the next one, you might want to turn your light on.
Jim, you were going to help us know what the matrix means.
Yeah, I put something in the chat, and basically it's a tool that Jim and Jory, along with two other trainers, Jake and Jack, designed about 10 years ago. It's a list of 28 key nonviolent communication skills, and then hopefully clear and brief definitions of each of the skills. And then levels of like if we're on a journey with all these. It's like that's why I called the book Pathways to Nonviolent Communication. So each of these skills is like a pathway to deepen our consciousness and our skills as we integrate them. And so the matrix also includes little way stations on that journey so that you can check in with yourself. It's not designed to be a tool where you judge yourself, at least in a moral sense, because we didn't really get educated in a way to be able to have easy access to these skills. But luckily we were born in a way that gives us really easy access. And so as you focus on the skills, they naturally awaken in you. And if you go to the pathways-to-liberation.com website, you can get more information.
Thank you.
So you bet. I'm going to stop the recording and then I'm going to restart it again.
Okay, and I also, before